let's do, I think, the most obvious thing. The most obvious thing, which is to maybe start with module. So module.scala and scala module.scala target. So if we just change this to target, change this to target. Yep. So I think the raise error is the only thing that's different between the two. So what we can do is we can actually look at that here. Everything's defined in a different order. Of course it is. So we can start with push logger. So if we grep, just not that it matters apparently, but okay. So we can see CoreTarget and target value are all the same. It's pure error, raise error from option. From option exists. Okay. So let's try to get these in the same direction. So we had error. We also have raise error. So error, raise exception. Error, raise error. Okay. So in target, error and raise error are both string, whereas error and raise error here are F-type error. Raise exception exists in target as well, which does not exist here yet. From option is defined. There's an additional annotation here, and then unzip extract. Okay, good. So for the most part, I think these are compatible. The only thing that's missing is come up with a way to do error and raise error from target. Let's actually start with that. No, don't need that right now. Thank you. No, I also don't need the help viewer. Thank you. It's really helpful. Target error doesn't even exist anymore, so that's good. Which also means, actually, since the grep that I used did not specify that target had to be the first thing in the match, it's not present in CoreTarget either, which is actually really good. So we've got raise error is now the only thing that is. Well, that's unfortunate. Let's look at CoreTarget raise error. Okay, fewer, so that's good. Let's strike a balance. Raise itself is an error. It returns CoreTarget. These now just use raise, and also don't need those. Let's see. Scala C. So raise now is the thing that we can change this to. Don't know why raise error is down here actually. Well, anyway, raise error. This is why it was raise error, because the that's interesting, because this should be the same as that. So sure enough, it is. So that's good. Let me actually revert these so that we can get a clean set of compiler errors for raise error. So something that I am comfortable doing is to just do name only like this, which then can just end up turning into actually, oops, Yeah, okay, that's good. Target raise error should actually just be raise. Sure enough. Yes, sure enough. I don't know why that's there. Oh, it's because I did not do that. That's not what I wanted. I wanted the opposite of that. Core target raise error. Yep. Now we can actually only change the ones that need to be changed, which is fine. Which means this should now compile. Raise, raise, raise. These don't need to be there yet. This is the only thing that we're going to change CoreTarget to be more compatible with target. Wrong number of parameters for raise error. Type parameters for raise error. This isn't CLI. Oh. Right, because the type signature for raise error, when it's separated like this, this is actually the raise error that's coming from monad error, not from CoreTarget. So that's an unfortunate situation where raise error as a syntax extension that ends up being something like value raise error CoreTarget list path. So that's what it wants me to type, but I don't want that. So we can just do that. Let's see where we are now. Target polymorphic expand. Sure. Target 14. Sure enough, because it's not polymorphic. It's actually just target error. So that should be fine. Much better. I'm also going to have to test compile because I don't think that there's a dependency between compile and test compile. So you can actually see the font on the stream, which is nice. Cool. That's very good. All right, and compiled, which is good too. So it also means that target compiled, which is actually good. I'm not super concerned about having just compiled target as well as the previous thing. Normally I try to keep the compilation units to only things that I'm about to commit, but in this case I think it's actually fine because there are no other changes that were made. These are all effectively compatible changes except for removing error, but error wasn't used anywhere, so it's fine, and it's been deprecated for a long time. So given that, we can actually now do what we were setting out to do in the first place, which is replacing CoreTarget with target. So now that raise has also been adapted, then we actually don't even need to worry about altering those. one thing though is where it is extract called. This is term name extract. Nope, I don't actually need that. T is get default. Nope. Vendor extension is not useful there. We'll find out shortly, I guess. I presume that extract is actually used, but it'd be pretty wild if it wasn't. Yeah, sure enough. CLI line 2 something 201, I think. Yeah, okay, fine. So this is being passed directly into CoreTerm interp. The reason that it has the handle modules. So this thing is used to implement the language abstracted version of module handling. So we pass in a non-empty list of the modules in order to extract effectively to extract the interpreter for the whole application. So going from codegent application to target. But this actually now can be a, oh no, this is actually going to require everything change. Okay, we can do that. Target. So let's see. This is going to make everything upset, but you know, it's can't break eggs without breaking a few eggs. From option, no framework. Ooh, that's gonna suck. Default is a string. That's just not right, is it? That sucks. This is going to be interesting. You can actually even do from option from single double quote. Oh. From option getting used anywhere. CLI 199. CoreTerm interp, of course. That's not what I wanted. I wanted found acquired. So found CoreTerm stop. Found CoreTerm interp Scala language required to CoreTarget. It's not true actually. Not anymore. Oh, yeah, because these need to change. This is how the this is the entry point for languages. So they're defined as defs here instead of as values, so that people trying to do extensions on top of guardrail can pass their own interpreters, even if they just pass the defaults. They don't have to overwrite anything. They can just provide their own implementation, and then CLI will do the rest. So it's a little bit easier than trying to override and manage overriding things and all that. So found CoreTerm to target, required CoreTerm to CoreTarget. That's wrong, because run requires CoreTarget, because we need to change that. Now, that means that interpreter also needs to be CoreArgs, comes from here, which C will parse args. That's going to be CoreTarget. Whoa, hey. No, that's not what I wanted. I wanted, it was in CLI. It's too many tabs already. Oh, that's because parse args is defined here. And that's because these aren't defined. These are already changed over to target, so core term and core terms both need to be. There's no core target here. Should be fine then. Guardrail running for CLI on 194. Did I read that wrong? 94. Guardrail runner. Then languages is going to also require this. Flat traverse core target is now just target. This is all fine. Common. Sure enough, free that, target. So that should be fine because we're fold mapping on the Java interpreter, which should emit a target now, not core target. So that is fine. This is going to be raised as well, which is fine. This is going to complain, definitely. I wonder if I can switch for, oh, wait. Yeah, so let's see whether or not that actually will work. So target required core target. Okay, that's also 185 because left flat map on top of what? Read swagger. Sure enough. This is just target. Yep, this is going to be raised. It's fine from option. This is going to be error still, so that's fine. Yeah, it's unfortunate. I really don't want to overload that either. Interesting though is that these are all error instances. This one is not. So I think that we're gonna have fewer of these, probably no more than, I mean, that's 10 here, another 10, maybe 15, 20 total of those strings that need to be coerced. Left flat map is not defined on target, and that is interesting. That's the first thing that's defined in core target that's not defined in target. But we can fix that. So we can just grab the limitations and stick them in there. Yep. And then swap all the types. So there you go. Found core target value required, of course. Yeah. I mean, do core target isn't even needed anymore. I can just return myself at this point. To core target just returns this, whatever. What we have in our stage. Some changes. this is going to be one big change set. The from option stuff is going to suck. It's going to make this a lot noisier than it needs to be. But yeah, here we go. Tracker 9. This is going to be, previously we had, this is going to be from option previously did user error, which we will also have to do. Oh, there's a lot of these. I was not even paying attention. That's unfortunate. 26, okay, not so bad, but still unfortunate. I wonder if there's... So we're just using from options definition from monad error. Okay. Not too, oh, this is tracker, not target. That explains why. Okay, from option. So what we could do is define one that uses string, and then just to see what it would look like if this actually compiled. I definitely don't like doing this. It also let's do that. Double definition. After type erasure. That's, I did not expect that because this is a lazy value, maybe. Okay. Well, fix those 26 errors then. Swagger generator has a bunch. These are all going to be effectively in these interpreters, because target is effectively the end. So this maybe like from option user error. I really don't like sort of blasting the user error type all over the place, or the user error constructor all over the place. I think it's kind of sloppy. Oh well. I'm also wondering if there's a better way to do this. Don't want to try to parse yeah, I mean, it's 26 of them, so. I was thinking of doing like a macro in Vim, but it would be pretty hacky, not particularly robust, so any sort of new lines or anything in there would probably have problems. Yeah. Okay, one file down. Ooh, actually, I just realized. I wonder, before actually doing this change, I wonder if we can actually split this so that we change the type for target over first. Yeah, that'll be better. So that'll separate the two concerns out of the same commit. So we can start doing that here actually. target from option. Actually, these are all going to be like target to target, so we'll stop. Yeah. I want to see whether or not it didn't find user error. Because if it didn't, if I needed to also add the import, that would suck. To find that later, but looks at the very least like it worked to begin with. Let's also do the target. From option. This one is going to be that. No, other way around. No, that's correct. So that means that we end up with that. So, cool. So at the end of this, this I will run a macro for. So if I'm in from option, and I say let's find the first comma, write user error, paren escape %, close that, and next. That will allow me to do Q, Q, Q. So that's, oh, these errors now, they're twice. It's interesting, why did that? Did I already do that one, I guess? Huh. Right. Okay. Scala generator, Java generator. From option Q. That's the only one. Okay, good. Jackson generator. Okay. Oh. Oh, cool. Neat. Oh, that's wrong then, because this is, yeah, okay. Sure enough, difficult to actually do robust parsing with macros. User error and that. So we can actually, that is something we can do, which is if I say QW, user error, like that. And that will give us the ability to find where we need to be. W. That should be on the same line though. Oh well. That's already in user error, so that looks like we are done here. Let's look over for a server. Okay. Okay. Oh, wait, hold on. Okay. This one we can use our initial Q on that one. We can. Oh, that's already done. Okay, good. Let's see whether or not we got anywhere. So we don't want these changes. We don't want those. We just don't want any of these, I think. Target from option, we don't care. Raise, no. We just want the actual use case changes in the various interpreters elsewhere. So server generator, yep, Jackson generator, pretty much the whole files here because we didn't really mix Target and CoreTarget before. So this is not what we want. That's doing some CoreTarget work. This is, we do want this. We don't want Scala module. So that looks good. Either from option, of course. Yeah, so Jackson generator, I screwed that one up. Online, what is that? 7? 80. Oh. So, that's okay. So I was looking at the warning. 134. Yep. Yep. Revert that one. And this is sort of wrong because we should never have non-user error issues with Target, like in normal code. So having to kind of blast user error everywhere is sort of wrong, but at the same time it gives us a little bit more control over defining other error types, which may be useful. So we'll see. May end up playing out to be nice. Core tracker is going to be Target from option. Generator. It's either this is, we could use Q here. We cannot use Q here because there's 2. But we can use W. We can use W here. W there. And I just realized that it was adding those parens on the next line over instead of the same line, which is actually fine as I'm realizing because we're just going to reformat all of these things anyway. So let's just kind of be okay with it looking a little bit sloppy for right now. This one, this one actually has a lot going on. I think that we probably could still have used the macro here though. Yeah. It uses paren matching to find where it needs to put that thing. So we have Cersei protocol generator done. Okay, should be Cersei generator. We've got Target from option. This is going to be W. This is going to be Q. That's all that we had there. Tracker is already done. And I think we're done. Let's do that batch. So CLI, read Swagger, Target, CoreTarget, Tracker needs that change. Okay, should be server generator. Okay, should be, yeah, all in there. All in there, none in there, not there. So there you go. I don't know why the Java module hasn't been converted yet. Whoops, that's why. That. So, yeah, sure enough. Reset just that file, please. And we're only resetting the core target. So we stick that in there. This is going to be not found user error inside tracker, okay? Tracker's in a different package than everything else, so it should be user error. Just, you know. Should be fine. Great. Let's stash to see whether or not any changes also need to come across. Cool. So now let's add these. Oh, actually, this means that these changes already compiled, so we tried them already. Now we just need to basically slam all this stuff in. CoreTarget. CoreTarget is now only defined in, or only used in read swagger, which is now doing no op. This isn't necessary anymore, which is great. Which means that we can also do package spec. CoreTarget is not necessary here either, which is great. So there's that. And that means that test compile should actually work now, which is also pretty exciting. There we go. Yeah. Good news. Great, great, great. We have CoreTarget. Shows only one file, except for two CoreTarget defined in target. Target is now completely unnecessary. That and the git rm CoreTarget.scala. And it's gone. Let's push. Yep. Great. That's pretty exciting. Let's see. Great, great, great. we actually want one more change before I open this PR, which is package.scala log abstraction now comes into target, which is going to be also really great, because now we can just say we don't need F anymore, we don't need A anymore, we don't need that anymore. These are all just straightforward. A is gone. The target instances all gone. Push logger is now defined, which is now just super great. Define this object at the bottom to avoid initialization problems, but that should also now work. Yep. And also, of course, oh wait, hold on. Structured logger target. Yeah, of course. F is no longer great. And gone. So this is interesting, is that now there's only cogent definitions. Let's leave that there for now. But this is a great day for simplicity. Great. Not great. Oh, great. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, does not extend log abstraction anymore. Sure enough. Now we've got pretty much, there we go. Super great. Now applicative, and applicative and what else? Yeah, implicits, okay. Great. So we don't actually do any work in this file anymore. So that's pretty exciting. Great. Great. It's really great. I don't think there's any point in defining target instances outside of target. I don't think that that's necessary. So I don't think it gains the same thing anyway. So should be okay. Which means just push moving CoreTarget, and off we go. Now we can create a pull request. And off we go. Cool. Trying to think of what was the other thing. So we had, I think this is what I wanted. So here is where in the FP chat, so we combine these two into a single type, reintroduce structured logger already. Next project is convert this codebase from free to typeless final. Yeah, of course. So that's actually really great. It means that these are already knocked out. So that's pretty exciting. Awesome. Oh, actually, that's true. I did forget to reformat. So this is going to be very unhappy with me. But fortunately, bash support rebase formatting. Yeah, blast RGs, remove CoreTarget. Whoops. Removing CoreTarget. Yep. So this is one of my favorite bash scripts, primarily just because I hate doing the dance of reformatting all the commits in a PR individually, but this will actually go and apply Scala format on each commit individually. And then at the end, once it's applied all the, like interleaved all the commits to do the reformat, then it collapses them all together and you can't actually tell the difference. You actually won't be able to tell, other than looking at the commit metadata, that anything has gone on. It's actually pretty fast too, so not bad. All right, and enter. Off it goes. Inlining all the commits. And you can see here, the same number of commits here, the same number of commits here, except the difference is target is moving target to here. The only difference is that there's some white space changes. So that's great. Awesome. And sure enough, this one is complaining, but you know, this one will succeed. Awesome. Not that bad of a PR either. Only 18 files changed. I'm still not super excited about the whole removing the user error part of default, but I mean, you can only do so much, I think. Raise error and raise exception still. Oh, that's another thing. Yeah, raise error. This should be raise user error. Let's try that. It's going to complain a heck of a lot, but ugh. Oh, that's actually not bad. Hold on. Great. Okay. Let's do it. So let's check to see. There's 30 of those, and then target raise error is 30 of those as well. This is actually really good because now we can actually do if he said target raise error, target raise error into target raise user error with effectively no changes required, or no user interaction required on our part. Let's see if we can actually get those errors to go away. May have missed a couple, but it'll have knocked out a lot of them. So, yeah. For those interested. Git pset is very simple. It just runs Perl regex, but it pipes it through Sponge so that we can basically it goes through all of the different files and then reads in from that, pipes to Sponge, and then writes it back out to the same path. Sponge is it's a tool from more utils, not core utils, but more utils. Sponge will slurp in everything from standard in until the standard in socket closes, and then it will open the path and write to the output. So you can actually do stuff like foo. It's actually, that's not what I wanted. I wanted foo bar2. That actually did compile, so that's great. Test.text. So if I look at test.text and I say tack from test.text back to test.text, now this will be empty because this ends up opening the socket or opening the file handle for this first. However, if I reset, so I've got the files in there, and now I say tack into sponge, and I say cat that, now it's actually backwards. So tack did its job, sponge did its job, everybody's happy. Super, super useful tool, so highly recommend. We also don't need these anymore, we do need to reformat. And then we can make one more commit to fix that raise error to raise user error thing. And we had to do effectively no work, so that's great. Regex, power of regex. I'm still like just reviewing, spot checking effectively to make sure that everything that I expect to happen is there. Only a couple of files left. Sure enough, I would have hated doing all this by hand. Who would have thunk it? Jeez. All right. And so that's interesting because that means that now we can do raise. Now it doesn't even need to be raise anymore. Now it can be what it should be, which is raise error, because now the type for raise and the type for raise error are actually the same. So now we can actually switch this one to raise error, which gets us closer to having the interface for target be the same interface as monad error, which is great because it makes using target more idiomatic and also reduces confusion for having the same functions that do different things or having different functions that do the same thing. So we're going to fix these and then we're going to be done with this PR. So let's just raise error, raise error. So raise error, raise error, oops, error raise. Nope. If you are interested in writing your own CLI parser, I highly recommend checking out the parseargs function in this codebase because it was very interesting to write. So that's all good. And test compile here as well. There's a look at. No, we can't. Oh well. All right, now good stuff. And there we go. Now that, oh, I forgot to reformat again. I'm sure that there's, yeah, see whether or not there are any changes required. Of course there are. Of course. So, quick push-f, be done with it. And for those also interested, so fixup is an alias that just does commit mend, but -C head will reuse the same commit metadata for from the previous, like from the current commit. So I can just say I'm going to make a change and then get fixup. Doesn't prompt me, just recommits, which is like almost exactly what I want most of the time. So there we go. Once this is done, then we pop that over there. Yep, should be good. So anyway, I'm going to sign off now. So see ya next time.